yeah, if you think you're going to do it in your own strength, then you know what? Yeah, you can do it.
COVID, it's been helping people move their businesses from offline or brick and mortar to online.
Systems are more important than skills as an entrepreneur today.
It's totally okay to reinvent yourself.
Yes.
Multiple times, especially when you're an entrepreneur.
Welcome to Profitable Coaching Conversations with Wendy Y. Bailey. If you're a coach, speaker, or industry expert, you're in the right place for sales and marketing wisdom and insight to grow your coaching business. Now, here's your host, Income Acceleration Mentor, Wendy Y. Bailey.
Hello, everyone, again, and welcome to the show. I'm always excited when I get to talk with and be in great conversation with amazing people. The guest episodes really give me that opportunity, and today's guest is no different. I'm really excited to talk with Ryan Stanley. He's a lifelong entrepreneur who is known for his impressively natural ability to understand and empower those who are willing to make significant changes in their personal and professional lives so they can end up being the best versions of themselves. I think that's so true. Energetically, I just really enjoy getting to know you and chatting with you at every opportunity. Welcome, Ryan.
Thank you so much for having me, Wendy. I've been looking forward to it all day. Super blessed to be here. Appreciate your awesomeness.
Thank you so much for being here. So let's kind of jump in. We talked about you being someone who really helps people transform their personal and professional lives. Yeah. I know that means you're a highly credentialed coach. Tell me a little bit about who you serve, what you do, how you serve them.
Sure. Yeah, happily. And thank you for the opportunity.
Sure.
As you mentioned, I've been a certified professional coach since 2009, actually. So it's been 11 years. I knew there was some math in there somewhere. 11 or 12 years, going on 12 in 2021. I would say next to parenthood, coaching is the most fulfilling thing I've ever done. I will absolutely do it on some level for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
But I am a bit of a what I call an ADD entrepreneur. So I love creating businesses. I love connecting with people. I am an author. I'm a speaker. I have an online t-shirt company. I wrote a screenplay for a film. I published a book. You throw a wife and a couple kids in there and it's enough to keep me busy.
Yeah, for sure. As a lifelong entrepreneur, it sounds like your interests have varied in terms of the types of businesses you've actually had.
Yeah, absolutely. And still have. And that's, one of the things I love about life is that we are always creating something, right? We every day gives us a new opportunity to decide if we want to create something or who we want to create. And so for me, I have a lot of ideas about businesses and I love to create different businesses. I love to serve people. I love to see how I can serve communities in different ways. And so, I think every day is an opportunity to step into something. My challenge is that sometimes I have too many ideas and it's not getting them all focused on to actually have them come to fruition. But that in itself is part of the adventure.
I don't know about the ADD part, but I have ideas too. And someone asked me what was my greatest challenge in my business right now. I was like, too many ideas, too little time, So I get it. I totally get it.
Yeah.
What are some of the other businesses you've had?
I owned a daycare center for a long time with my father. I have an online t-shirt company right now. I have it's called Teach Me to Sell, and it's a sales training organization, but we're actually shifting more into working specifically with coaches, not necessarily on sales, but more just on business building. Mm-hmm. So we have a course on that as well. And like I said, but my coaching business, my t-shirt company, I don't know, it's enough to keep me busy, I suppose.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I think it's amazing. And I know that your philosophy when it comes to supporting your clients is really helping them to recognize that they are servants and what they do is being of service to others. And I think it just sort of stems from who you are and your own personal philosophy. But it makes me ask the question, if you're helping them and teaching them and coaching them on being better servants, what does it say about how they show up? What does it say about what they do every day? And how do you actually support them in their perspective and growing their perspective, expanding it in some way?
Totally. I think, in the grand scheme of things, we're all one, right? And we're all connected. and we're all here. The more we recognize that we are one, and we stop separating each other, separating ourselves from others, it's only about service, right? In the grand scheme of things, when you show up on purpose to be the best version of yourself, it's not so that you can be the best person in the world. It's so that you have the ability to empower and inspire others to do the same. And when we start going from competition to instead cooperation, right? That's really what I love by my own example and by my own living and working with my coaches. My clients. The service is serving others so they can be awesome and enjoy life and create and then serve others, right?
Yeah.
So I want to serve others so they want to serve others. This concept of recognizing that once we, the whole concept of, I think the survival of the fittest was kind of created by Darwin and that type of a thing. And I think it's outdated. I think that it's hundreds of years old.
For sure.
Right. And it's really not even true, right? It makes sense out in nature with animals who don't have the same level of consciousness that we do and communicate the same way that we do. But we're humans and we have the ability to not compete, but to create. And even if you want to be, even in a sports situation, by being the best athlete possible for yourself, not to be better than someone else, but to set an example and to show how others can learn from you and to be, in awe of your skill and talent and want to do the same, learn from different things. Like it's all about serving others. And if we come from that place in any given moment with everything we do, imagine how the whole world would be.
I also think that there's this distinction that you make. We were in an earlier conversation between judgment and curiosity.
Yeah.
I know what both of those are, but the best example I have is my son is 30 years old. And I want to say last year we used to kind of butt heads because he would say, "Mom, you don't get to judge me. I can judge you just as much as you judge me."
Right.
And I was kind of like, "Well, no, I'm mom.
Right. I'm
like,
the mom.
You don't get to judge me. You don't get to scrutinize. You don't have the authority to tell me something about myself and to hold me accountable to certain things." And I know what you're going to say, so I will leave it there for you to tell me your thoughts about that, Ryan.
Yeah. And so, that makes sense. Funny, interestingly enough, you are judging him by telling him he can't judge you, right? You're judging his behavior as somebody who is treating their mother in a way that they shouldn't or whatever it is. And so, should. What's that?
It's a should.
Yeah, absolutely.
A should in there.
Right. Should versus could. So I think it sounds like you said it up to about a year ago. So maybe you've had your own shift to where you're doing a little bit less of that.
For sure. Yeah, because what I realized, I'm sorry, just real quick, what I realized is that everything that I think I want to say about what should happen for him doesn't mean it needs to come out. Like I don't need to express it. I don't need to say everything. Over the years, we really worked on our relationship. When he got to be about 18, I started to surrender and, pull back and let go, because I knew he needed to go through his own experiences.
Of course.
And what I learned is that it's sort of like the chicken that's trying to hatch.
Yeah.
You can't help them remove the shells because that's part of the process. And if they don't have those times for themselves, they miss out on the lessons that they learn from that. They miss out on the development that teaches them by going through their own stuff, whatever it is. So I've over the years gradually surrendered. And what I discovered is, like I say, even though it doesn't come out of my mouth, if I think it doesn't need to be something I say.
Yeah.
And it's brought us that much closer. And he will come to me and say, "This happened. What do you think about that?"
Right.
And then I can share my opinion.
Well, and the other piece is, it's not that you listen. You're a mom. You love this person probably more than any other person on the planet, right?
I do.
And so, in fact, I can say that I never truly understood unconditional love until I became a parent. So there is a piece that,
and you don't,
right?
You don't.
We want to go in and we want to protect and we want to make sure that they're doing all the things that they should be doing. And so I'll just share with you. It's not that you can't have these thoughts or even want to share them with him based on his experience, based on your experience and what he's experiencing. It's about the presentation of the thought, though. I think that makes the difference. Right. So if you have those thoughts, there's a reason for it. Right. And so it's coming up, but it's how do I want to present this to my son? Do I want to say, you really shouldn't do that? Or do I want to say, tell me how that's serving you? Or what did you like most about this experience? Where was an opportunity for growth? What would you have liked to have done differently? Right. So all these different things can be leading questions like, listen, and then if he asks, well, why, what would you do? Then you can say, it's funny because thank you for asking, son, because here's what I would have done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when you immediately come from a place of, you shouldn't do that, don't behave that way, don't do this, don't do this, especially as a man who's, 30, I think, right? You told me earlier, son's 30.
That's right.
Like they're going to be a point where they're immediately, subconsciously or not, are going to go on the defense, right? When someone is feeling judged, all of a sudden they're not feeling good enough. And who knows what other types of thoughts they might have when you're not around about them not feeling good or about themselves or whatever it may be, whether it be your son or any human being, right? Or any of our listeners out there, just kind of getting a feel for having the opportunity to utilize curiosity. And first of all, to recognize, am I judging someone? Secondly, once you do that, you immediately getting curious, right? I'm no longer judged. Not only am I recognizing there's judgment, but I'm being curious about whether I'm judging them or not.
Right.
So you shift your energy and your mindset to more of an open-ended curiosity. And you can say, what could be different about this in my own space, right? How would I prefer to be behaving right now? Because when you judge somebody, you put them in a box of some sort. And you even subconsciously in your own space, you've said, okay, I've judged you as not good enough, or I've judged you as better than me, whatever it is. I've put you in some sort of a space, and that doesn't really leave room for growth. But when you instead recognize this is an opportunity for me to be curious, A, how true is it that this person is this way? B, even if it's clear as day that this person is behaving this way.
On the wrong track.
Yeah. Instead of judging it, to really be curious as to, I wonder what their life is like that put them there. What experiences have they had that have made them think and behave this way?
Yeah.
And when we start to do that, we start to empathize and we start to recognize, again, we go to this place that we are all one and we are connected, and we can say, how can I serve you best, instead of judging you for being the person that you are.
Yeah, I love the invitation to self for curiosity, and the invitation for others, the person you're speaking with or supporting in conversation, to invite them to curiosity as well, to be curious about whatever it is, because you're right, it opens everything up. It really does. So we're going to take a quick break.
Oh, sure.
When we come back, we're going to walk through our profitable wisdom segment. Sound good?
Sounds perfect. I'll see you then.
Okay, sounds great.
Soy Lisa Santiago McNeil y está viendo el programa de conversación rentable de coaching con Wendy Y. Bailey. Haga clic en me gusta, comente, revise y escriba ahora para recibir una notificación cuando se publique el próximo episodio. Adiós.
Hi, this is Colin C. Thompson, and you're tuned into the Profitable Coaching Conversation Show with Wendy Y. Bailey. Like, comment, review, and subscribe now so you're notified when the next episode goes live.
Hi, I'm Dr. Terry Levine, and you're tuned into the Profitable Coaching Conversation Show with Wendy Y. Bailey. Like, comment, review, and subscribe now so you're notified when the next episode goes live.
So welcome back. We're talking with lifelong entrepreneur and committed seasoned coach, Ryan Stanley. And before the break, we talked a lot about judgment versus curiosity. And so I want to jump into these questions for our Profitable Wisdom segment with sort of a twist of that, or something new that you want to bring to it. Okay. Usually This segment is all about answering questions that will expose the audience to possibilities that they may not have considered.
Yeah.
Okay. So who's had the greatest influence on you in your life, Ryan?
It's a great question. And I feel like there's three answers, if that's possible.
Sure.
There's probably even more. But the first thing that comes into play, I would just say, at a younger age, when I kind of first started deciding who I wanted to be as an entrepreneur, I would have to say it was Napoleon Hill, who wrote the book Think and Grow Rich.
Think and Grow Rich.
It's kind of the first ever, because it taught me the concepts of deciding what your thoughts are on a daily basis, and the physical reaction that can show up in your life. So I would say for years, like really from a deep subconscious level, when I was a young person, to really start reminding myself every single day through a statement of desire, which he goes about in his book of Think and Grow Rich, has had a profound influence on my life. In the past 2 years, I would say there's a gentleman named Dr. Joe Dispenza, who's written a couple different books. You can find him on YouTube. And his work has kind of taken all that stuff that
Napoleon
Hill had kind of created and taken it to the next level. It's kind of matching some of those concepts of deciding who you want to be with quantum physics and with the science that is actually happening when you have a positive thought, when you create gratitude, when you create love and compassion for others, what chemicals are actually going on in your brain and your body. And so the understanding of all that and putting into meditation practices that were based on his teachings and his work has been a huge, huge influence in my life. And then my third answer in that is just my children, because they
Don't you
are
learn so much from them?
every single day.
Yeah.
One thing that I learned very, very quickly at being a father is that you are constantly teaching and learning at the same time, right? I'm always learning about myself. I'm who would I prefer to be as a dad. I'm always learning who I am as a dad by their behavior, that they're mimicking me, that I didn't know that I was doing. I'm teaching because I want them to have the best outcome possible. And as we talked about, before the break, I never really truly understood unconditional love until I had children.
Yeah.
And so that is definitely an influence on every aspect of my life.
I love it. Yeah, I learned when my son was very young that he was making me a better person.
Always.
Not just a better mom, a better person.
Yeah.
Because he challenged me even as a young person to think about who I am and how I'm showing up in the world. So I love that children have that impact and are able to influence us in that way. Yeah.
Well, even it's like, I did a whole podcast once on my own just about, be the person you want your children to be, right? Always.
Set the example.
Yeah. Well, it's not even set the example. It's when I'm by myself, right? I have expectations of my children to be a certain way based on my life experience. But at any given point, if I'm looking for some sort of a gauge to measure who am I being today, I always want to be the person that I want my children to be, right? In some capacity. And if I'm behaving in a way that I wouldn't expect them to behave, there's a sign that there's an opportunity for growth for me there.
Yeah. So what's the best business advice you've ever received, Ryan?
Be here now.
Okay. That's about presence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in business, from my experience, it's not just business, but in life. At any given moment, when you're creating a business, especially as an entrepreneur, and you have things that maybe you're going your way, you're having a tough day, somebody didn't email you, a check didn't come in, you're didn't get to the point where you want your clients to be. You're thinking about all these different places that are in the past or in the future, what might not, a worst case scenario or stress or things that are happening outside of you. And so at any given moment, if you decide to be here now and decide who I want to be in this moment, it gives you the strength and the willingness to make the decisions that will serve your business.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So what's the largest single sale you've had in your, let's say, coaching business? What was the amount? What were the circumstances? And what did you do to celebrate?
Yeah, it's funny. I was going to answer the question differently because I wasn't going to use my coaching business. So I will say it's not there's a largest sale. To answer this question for my coaching business, I think I increase my rates for every single client that I have. So whatever I charged my last client, the next client gets charged a little bit more. And I started doing that. Yeah, I started doing that when I first started coaching because I had fear around raising my rates.
Mm-hmm.
And so I needed to make it a habit.
Approach.
What's that?
You had an incremental approach.
But
grew in your mindset and confidence. And
absolutely, very intentional, very purposeful. So whatever my next client is, that's my biggest sale.
I love it. I love it. We all have times when we thought of giving up in our business. What has helped you when those times rose for you to stay the course in your business? I love asking this question of you because you are such a lifelong entrepreneur.
Yeah.
With so many ideas and so many businesses. Yeah.
Totally. And it's really in my older years, I think the answer is gratitude. Yeah. Right. At any given moment, if you feel like giving up, you're probably coming from a place of lack. Like there's an energy or a feeling of lack that there's not enough and there's not going to be enough and it's not working. And it's just an overall feeling of lack. And when you shift that to a feeling of gratitude and abundance, you physically, again, will change aspects of your body that will allow you to bring more sincerity, more clarity, more presence into who you want to be.
Yeah. Yeah. And what's your greatest personal accomplishment outside of your business?
I have to say, obviously being a dad, I think is really just is the answer.
I thought that's what you would say.
Quick and easy. I will say though, on a professional level, I think it is my book. I think my book, I wrote it with very intentional purpose to serve the world. I wrote it for myself just as much as I did for everybody else. And so, I mean, I literally have had people who, I know the woman was recently on her deathbed. They found my book next to her, right? You know what I mean? With marks in it.
Wow.
Yeah, I get chills just saying that. And so, I mean, other circumstances where I've had people who I didn't know reach out to me and just let me know that they use it on a daily basis, because that's how it was kind of created. I ran into a woman who I hadn't seen in like 15 years, and she was friends with my sister. And I just ran into her on the street. She goes, "Oh, Ryan, it's so nice to see you." She goes, "You know what? I have your book, and I carry it with me." And she took it out of her backpack.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh my God." So I feel like that is an accomplishment that I'm proud of, and I'm excited to watch continue to unfold.
The book, and I have it here, and I was telling you that I was reading it. Let's see if I can get it in the right light. There it is. Be patient, be present, be joyful. You're actually going to give everyone a digital download of this.
Absolutely. Yep.
The thing that I love about your book is it is bite-sized, inspirational, empowerment driven stories, anecdotes, quotes that you can glean so much from. And I love the metaphor of it being the first aid kit for the emotional bumps, scrapes, and bruises of life.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big one. That's a big one.
Yeah, thank you so much. I mean, that was really the intention. I wrote it with two, the book itself has two purposes. One, obviously you can read straight through it. And to your point, you can glean information from it. It's not a long book. You could probably read it in about 35, 40 minutes if you want to. It's nothing that's going to take you years to read. I'm not much of a reader, so I wanted to write something for people like me. So you can read straight.
ADD, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's got to be quick. You got to be able to consume it in small enough chunks. Yeah.
So you can read straight through it and get stuff that you can literally the next day. It's written in a specific order. The stuff you can take away with you and you can utilize in any given day. But it's also, from the first aid standpoint, it's also literally created to where there's something on every single page that is highlighted, to where if you are having a tough moment, you are having a tough day, whatever, you could just open up and pick any page and find something on it that will serve you.
Awesome. So we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, I'd love to hear your parting thought. And you've described the book. So this is just a tease. You're going to get to download the ebook.
Absolutely.
So we'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Ann Betts, and you're tuned into the Profitable Coaching Conversation Show with Wendy Y. Bailey. Please comment, like, review, and subscribe now so you know when the next episode is live.
Hey there, I'm Ty Goodwin, and you're tuned in to the Profitable Coaching Conversation Show with Wendy Y. Bailey. Like, comment, review, and subscribe now so you're notified when the next episode goes live.
Hey everybody, this is Steve Fredland, and you are tuned in to the Profitable Coaching Conversation Show with the great Wendy Y. Bailey. Like, comment, review, and subscribe now so that you are notified when the next episode goes live.
So awesome. We've been talking with Ryan Stanley, a delightful conversation all around like self-development, personal development, judgment versus curiosity, and how you can begin to incorporate that. Ryan, you've even shared how powerful your book is. I have it, and we're going to share in the link in the show notes, we're going to share that they can get this download for free. So all the things we've talked about, what is that nugget for you that you want our audience to walk away from our conversation with?
Totally. And thank you, by the way, for the opportunity to share. The nugget to walk away with is that not only every single day, but every single moment is an opportunity for you to decide who you want to be. And that life is actually happening for you always. And if you decide that, and at any given moment, no matter how stressed you are, you ask yourself, again, get curious, how is this happening for me? And you start asking that question on a daily basis. And if it is happening for you, what you can do about it. Who do I want to be? Any stresses that you give yourself, utilize curiosity to be the best version of yourself as often as possible. I'll try to make this quick, but take some time. Literally, if you're watching this, take some time right after you get done with this. Write down exactly what you want your life to look like. Write down every aspect of it, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. Who do you want to be? Because without any type of a roadmap, with any type of a blueprint, you're probably not going to get there as soon as you'd like to.
Yeah.
Write it down physically, because now you've taken it out of the brain from curiosity and you've actually created it physically and put it on paper. And then read it aloud every single day. Wake up in the morning, read it. Remind yourself of who you deserve to be. Before you go to bed, remind your subconscious of what you want to dream about. Who do you deserve to be? Be the best version of yourself every single day so that you can empower others to do the same.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much, Ryan, for being here.
Yeah, truly my honor.
Appreciate the conversation. Really grateful. Really grateful. So stay tuned for another episode of the Profitable Coaching Conversation Show with Wendy Y. Bailey. Be sure to join us for the after party at profitablecoachingsociety.com, and we will see you there. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much for tuning into Profitable Coaching Conversations with Wendy Y. Bailey. Be sure to join us at the after party at www.profitablecoachingsociety.com. We'll see you next time for more sales and marketing wisdom and insight from Wendy Y. and her amazing guests. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you know when new episodes are posted.